All right, so here it is, the New York tournament. Boom, this was fire. I learned so much from this tournament, one of the greatest tournaments, but also it was sour, but it was also like not sour, but it was like, it was a bittersweet tournament for me. It was very nice. And shout out to Chess Bra in the chat with a 5-piece. Let's get them fives in the chat. Get them fives in the chat. Stop playing. Stop playing with me. Stop playing. Get them fives in the chat. Command 5 right now. Stop what you're doing. Command 5 in the chat. Yes, sir. Thanks for the 5-piece chess, bro. So guys, right, this tournament was bittersweet for me, right? This is round 1 though. So I'm facing Young Brew, what it do? The Brewington Hardaway, right? Very strong. If you don't know who he is, Google him. You should know who he is. If you don't know, then when you get back, just say, "Oh, I know who he is," if you didn't know, because if you didn't know, here you go. That's on you. So, right, Brewington Hardaway, young prodigy out here. Chess bra here for the analysis. Let's go. So, right, use the code. You got some brain fuel. That's good, Sir Mikey. What flavor did you get of brain fuel? That's nice. I like the fruit punch. Electric, thanks for the follow. So, Brewington Hardaway, young, strong kid. My man's is he's not FM yet. He's in him, but he's prodigy kid, right? New York. It's just. Right, there with Tani. It's Tani and Brew, right? Tani and Brew right now. That's what it is. It's Tani and Brew, one of them, right? Brew is CM, but he in him as well. National Master CM, right? Peach Mango. There you go, Mikey. That's nice. Yeah. So okay, I know he played E4, right? I know he played a little bit of D4, right? And I knew we was gonna play Sicilian, right? And then the title of this one is called I Forgot, basically. So let's put this in here, just like this, just straight off the rib right now. By the way, I always got pawns on me at all times. Absolutely, always keep them with you every time. Absolutely, that's facts. It's also very nice because I be twirling while I'm thinking. I don't know what it is. Every chess player does this. You're not advanced. You are not a real chess player if you do not twirl a pawn when you are thinking. Right? Okay, I'm just letting you know. I'm just telling you right now. Okay, so hi, great Java Turner. Thanks, Moody. Appreciate it. So yeah, right. So I'm playing Brew. Brewington Hardaway, super strong, right? I knew he was about to play E4, and I'm going to play a Sicilian, and in this, I call it I Forgot. Let's see why. E4, C5, right? Knight F3. What y'all think I'm playing here? So y'all know I can play a Knight C6. I can play Knight C6. I know a lot of Sicilians. My favorites right now are Najdorf. I also like Sveshnikov. I also like Dirty Harry, and I'm still an accelerated monster myself. So, I like all this stuff. So what do you think we playing here? What do you think we're playing here, right? Red Hot Mama says G6. Okay. Yes. G6 is 100% correct. Yes, we play an accelerated dragon, right? So let's see what happens. D4, takes, knight, C6. This is all theory here. Very easy, very simple stuff. And after C4, which I didn't expect from him, I did not expect a Maroczy bind. Here's the reason, right? Maroczy bind is, there's a lot to it. Okay, first off, guys, tell me, what do you know about the Maroczy bind from the white side? And I'm going to give y'all a really quick crash course on the thoughts and things about the Maroczy bind, everything I know about it. But Maroczy bind here, what's going on, guys? What's going on? This is the first round. I'm playing black. He plays the Maroczy bind here. Controls D5, developing. Okay, hold on, let me hit you with one of these. Okay, black's 5th rank. D5 on lockdown. Heard of it, never looked into it. Herbert, what's up, my guy? It sucks, says Fan Master Kendrick, and one for you. Garbage. Because you're garbage. But no, shout out to Fan Master Kendrick. Getting better. The bind is honestly kinda annoying and solid. Yes. Deep price. In fact, here's like bind 101. Okay, the bind actually is very, very nice. If we flip the board here, you can play the bind against virtually almost every Sicilian, I think. Generally, about every single Sicilian that black can throw at you, you can play the bind. So for people that have problems with the Sicilian, maybe you can try the bind, but you can play it literally against every single Sicilian. You just have to put the pawns here on E4 and C4, right? And you put the knight here, usually on C3. Bishop goes to E3, you play F3. I'm just going to draw the arrows. Knight to C3, F3, maybe bishop to E3 or G5 a lot of times. Queen D2, F3 is necessary because if the knight goes to F6, you do need the G4 square. Bishop is very bad because of the pawns here. It goes to E2, you castle. To either side, usually king side, you never usually see queen side castling in a Maroczy bind. The rooks will usually swing to like C1 oops, sorry, C1 and like a D1. And it's very slow play, but it's a bind on the D5 square. And black, because it's a maneuvering game, doesn't really know actually what to do with the bind. Because I'm like, I can't do nothing. I can't play E6. Like, I mean, D5 usually doesn't work because you have a bind on it, especially when the knight goes to C3. In many cases, it becomes a problem. For black to have activity, if you don't have active pieces, you're very more prone to make mistakes, right? If you have less space, then you actually can make more mistakes because you do have the less space. Hence, the bind has more space, which is sort of an advantage. This is just chess understanding of what is going on here, right? There's many ways that you can, in an anti-Sicilian, yes, I believe so. So in a way, sort of anti-Sicilianish, right? But not really anti, but I mean, okay, well, you can kind of call it that. But it's not really an anti-Sicilian. I wouldn't call it that, really. With that being said, though, right, there's many ways you can play against the bind. I got videos already out. I'm going to link this video on YouTube for you guys to have the other videos for the Maroczy bind playlist. But Maroczy bind can be played really in like a number of ways. You can play D6, bishop, D6, bishop G7 with knight F6 in here. What I used to do is this: knight F6, knight C3, D6. This is like all theory here. If bishop E3, knight G4. And it gets a little scary here. Games go like this. You're already blocking with your whole face, get this man off the board. I mean, this is already a wrap. So you're looking crazy out here. And then you got some lines that look like this. Take here, take here, take here, take here. Rook takes, king takes. And then after C5, you actually go bishop G7. No, this one's bishop E6. This one's bishop E6, right? And then you take, knight D5. Actually, there's king E7 there too. The endgame's favorite black. In many cases, even with this, and if E5, you go bishop G7, takes, you double the pawns first, and you get this kind of position, right? Rook takes, king C7, hits the rook, go back somewhere, I think here. And then after a check, boom, bishop E2, you play B6 with the idea of bishop A6, hitting C4 and rook stuff like the D8. A position that's still playable, obviously. Rook can probably double, you go to this side as well. There's so much that you can do in this position with the Maroczy binds, right? So this is another way that you could play if obviously knight G4 happens and they let you play this. But that's usually not going to happen from a very strong player. Knight C3 defends. After D6, they go bishop E2. This is standard Maroczy bind. We are following all the book, everything. If you check all the games, this is what happens. Bishop E2, you usually take first. Allow the queen to come out. Bishop G7, hit the queen. Boom. Okay, the queen moves somewhere, or you play bishop E3, castles, queen D2, castles, no, queen A5. First, nope, it's bishop E6. Bishop E6, castles, then queen A5, yeah. F3, rook F to C8. And what I'm hoping for is he plays stuff like this. This is fun. This is the fun stuff that happens in the Maroczy bind. If they let you get B5 in. This is the only time we're like, yes, we got a Maroczy bind. We're like, now you can get your head cracked as white, you know, with B5 happening. I mean, quick line, B5, right after rook C1, B5. Pawn takes. In many cases, taking this pawn, you drop a piece, right? So there's tricks from the Maroczy bind. Or they play very strong and they don't let you do none of these tricks, and they do this right now. F3, queen F, queen A5, like this. B3, rook F C8, and then they go knight D5. Boom. And then they make this kind of endgame where after taking like this, the rook's hanging right now. So actually, this is wrong. There's definitely a big problem there. Let's go rook here. Rook F to C8, then B3, right? A6, and now knight D5. There was a whole rook hanging there. Let's put one in the chat. Sheesh. So you do not do that. And then takes here, and then takes, and then takes, right? And then takes, and you have this kind of position where this is super like, sorry, I did it again. Super drawish, like, and you get this position. This is like Maroczy bind 101. Still theory, right? This is still theory. This is super theory. And this is boring, bro. Like, dang, bro. I didn't want to play all of this out to that, right? So immediately, I know all this theory. I know all this. And I don't want to go to this. I just don't want to go here and do this. So, right. So we go back to the beginning of the game here. After C4, I have all of that in mind before I'm playing Brewington here. And when it's Maroczy bind, I was not expecting this. So I'm like, do I really want to go into that? Then I remember, let me show y'all this, right? There's some new Maroczy bind out right now. Let me put some sabers in the chat. There is some brand new theory out. Yes, I know. Absolutely. On Accelerated Dragon stuff. I'm looking through it because I'm like, Accelerated Dragon, what you know about Accelerated Dragon? Like, you know, flexing real hard, standing up for my big fella. Accelerated Dragon, because that's what I play out here. And I'm like, let me see what he got. right? It's fire. And I'm like, oh, that's legit. Oh, that's cold, right? And I remember the name of this is called, I forgot, because I'm going through it. Stuff is really cool. I'm liking it. Oh, it's fire. And he has this chapter in here that talks about the must, what does it say? Must win, when you have to play for a win chapter. And I'm like, ooh, let me see what that is. So let me show you a quick brief inside the Russian chess file is what I like to call it, right? So we go in here, and what it is like this, Bishop G7. Let me just show y'all what it looks like. And I looked at it, I do a lot of preparation. So my preparation, I'm looking in database games, and I'm like, oh, this is nice. Oh, wow, I'm looking at online games. I'm trying to find all the games that have this type of position. So here it is, F3, or knight C3, right? They defend, you go D6. No, it's B6, sorry, B6 here. You go beat, maybe not here. Maybe it's like castles. It's a weird position. You have to castle. So now you can take back with the rook. After b6, maybe like bishop e2. It's something like this. Yeah, this is the standard position. And then maybe you go d6 here and queen d2. And the idea here is actually, nope, it's this. I remember now. It's queen b8. Something weird like this. Queen b8. You play d6. Yeah, this is it. You play d6. Put the rook on d8 and play rook d7, no matter what they do. So like they do this. I mean, no matter what they do, this is your whole idea, right? You don't care what they do. You put the queen over here. I mean, this is a very strange maneuver, but this is exactly what you do now. This is different and it's very strange, and you play it against basically no matter what they do. And there are some wins like this, but this is also very strange and like it's weird. And I mean, are you like, how do you feel as black? You still feel cramped, but it's playable. It's very playable. And I think I probably should have went for this compared to what I actually got in the game. So let's see what happened here, right? Maroczy bind. After all that being said, right, I didn't go for that. I didn't go for the variation I showed you. So what I played here was this variation. Yeah, I forgot, right? Baby say, yeah, watch this. I played bishop g7, right? I played bishop g7, which is a standard line. And after bishop e3 here, here's another line, bro. There's so much deep theory, right? Knight f6, he d4, f3, d6. Knight c3, we go castles. They go bishop e2. We play bishop d7. This is standard. Castles, knight takes, bishop c6. The idea here, this is very playable. This is probably more life to it than it is with the other one when you trade the queens off in the first line I showed you, and the bishops and the kings on c1. Very, very slow. This one's still slow as well, too, though, like a rook c1, knight d7. Takes, if check, right, we go king back. The idea here is to play queen b6. Knight d5, you can trade this. I think they take with the c pawn, and then queen b6. And black's kind of fine here. I mean, but actually, you actually give up the file here. So you got to be careful when you go there. Maybe queen a5 with the idea, putting the rook on c8, trading them, and then putting something on c5 and trading this way. Still playable, right? Still very playable as black. Not the most fun stuff. This is like the best you can get out of Maroczy's, right? And then this is the line I played. Again, I forget some stuff here because after bishop g7, first, right, what does he play? He plays, he plays bishop e3, and here's the move that I play, queen to b6. This move right here is different. It's different. I'm different. 2 chains. Yes. This is real different right here. Real different. Queen b6 is different. It is. It hits b2. There's a lot of tricks in here. Knight b5. When knight b5 happens, you check him. Right, you check him here, and if knight 1 to c3, you go knight f6. So now the idea here is with castling and a6, right? You know, and Stockfish was like garbage. No, in fact, here actually after queen b6, believe it or not, Stockfish gives us steal an equal position after knight b5 after you let it think. But for immediately, it's like +1, +1. It's pretty rough. But you see that a lot in openings, like all the time. You'll see +1, and then it goes down to whatever. Knight b3, right? So he plays knight b3, but you have this knight b5 as well, and then queen check, and then knight c3, knight f6. What else happens here? Castles, a6. The knight's strange over here, right? But this is different, and this is what you want. In Maroczy bind play, you're not trying to play all that super boring bind stuff anymore, especially if you're looking for play. If you're looking for a fight, which I was in this game. And c4, the problem with the Maroczy bind here, guys, is understanding that when you get the ideal position for white is you can't really improve it anymore, which is cool. It's not, I mean, you get an ideal position, but then what do you do next? Like, you don't attack anything. You just kind of sit there and like move pieces around. That's literally how the bind is. You don't do nothing. Like, it's just binded. This is binded up. And sometimes maybe you'll get f4, f5 in. Sometimes. But then you got to watch out for the weak e pawn here. So I'm looking for a fight. I go bishop g7. He go queen b6. I go queen b6. He goes knight b3. And then here is the theory move, guys. This is theory. Okay, so where do you put the queen at, chat? What do you do? Do you even move the queen? What do you do? Black to move. What do you play in this position? Thanks for the follow, B Noisky. Queen d8. ADH. ALDH. Okay. Queen C7. Okay, Queen B4. Bishop takes B2. Do you even move the queen? Why? Yeah, you know, some people in the chat want to get hit with the button. Garbage. For the people that was thinking that, oh, you right, I don't even have to move my queen. Garbage. Yeah, and one more time, because you did think that. Garbage. Okay. Yeah. I like Queen C7. All right. And a lot of it waiting for black might squeeze water. Yeah, black is on his toes. Yeah, correct. King F1. And all right, so here you go. Right. So after knight B3, I go Queen D8. Right. I don't know the theory here. Yeah, it's just Queen D8. It's just Queen D8. He goes knight C3, and then this is the theory that like really kind of is weird. I mean, it's weird, and I remember up to a certain point. And here's what happens. Right. So he plays here, and I'm supposed to do this right here. Now, believe it or not, watch this right here. Boom! It happened. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, this is like suicide. Why? Because you're giving up the dark square bishop, and you don't do this in King's Indian. You don't do this in nothing. This is more Petrosian. And here, you know, I like to play things that are more of my style, right? So I won't be playing this line in particular anymore. If I ever do play, you know, Maroczy's and like this, if I'm playing against them, I will never be playing this again because I'm just not a fan of giving up this bishop. Yes, you can play the position, but you do want to actually like to play to strengths as well. And a lot of my strengths are with the dark square bishops or kingside fianchettos, and for hence, you know, English setups or accelerated dragons, or even just fianchetto bishops. I love to fianchetto my bishops a lot. I love it, right? But and then giving it away like this also gives a bishop pair. You have to play very accurately here. And okay, cool. I know a little bit of ideas. I go knight f6, you go f3. The idea here, right, is just I'm going to play on these pawns. I may not castle, actually, and I'm just going to try to play on this. Maybe we'll queen trade, play a little bit differently here. D6 happens, queen d2. I know some of the ideas here are like b6, queen c7, bishop h6. Let him play bishop h6, right? Let him do this. So I can play rook g8, because of course I can't castle, obviously. So I would play rook g8 anyway. And the idea here is g5, g4. At some type of point, maybe cutting off the connection. There's tactics involved. And I knew that this was something there. I knew that this was there. I was like, okay, I know this is there. Blah, blah, blah. Let's get it. Let's got it. I got it. We good, right? Like, let's go. Okay. And but then the problem here, guys, is that I forgot. Bruh. I forgot. And that is why this is called that. You have to be more prepared here. This was just a rookie mistake in a way. It's just I should have just played, but he played the accelerated, and for me, not a rookie mistake. He played the accelerated, or he played the bind, and for me, he played the bind, and for me, I just didn't want to play the bind. I just didn't want to play the bind structures. I wanted to play for more, but playing for more was at a cost because I didn't remember the ideas in this variation. So that's not a good idea. In fact, play what you know. The best is how you come be better than this. In fact, it is castle. Correct, ALD. It is castle. Castle is great, right? Castle is good. Castle is the move I'm supposed to play, right? Okay, castle is the move I'm supposed to play. B6 is the move that I played here. Okay, so after B6, bishop h6, when he cuts off my castle. And I'm like, cool, I already know this is a thing. Like, I already know this. Bishop h6, I was ready for this. So after bishop h6, I go rook g8. But I think, here, he doesn't really have to castle ever. So I'm already kind of giving intentions of g5, g4. So, I mean, he plays rook d1. I move out of the way, queen c7. I mean, right now it's still equal. It's still equal. It's no problems here. Queen c7, knight to d4. Right, knight d4, he goes here, and he's going for knight to b5. My idea with queen c7 was to play bishop a6 or e6 and knight to e5. I'm feeling good about this. I'm feeling good about this as black. Knight d4. After knight d4, he goes, or I go, sorry, knight e5, and then he hits me with knight b5. And here is definitely a little strange. It's definitely strange here. Chat, where do you go as black here? Where do you put the queen at? And it does kind of matter. It does kind of matter here. Where do you put the queen? Yo, gets chess. Thanks for the raid. Let's go. Thanks for the raid. Let's go. Can you go knight g8 instead of rook g8? In fact, we can. Let me show you what happens. In fact, you can play knight g8. And when you play knight g8 after bishop g7, I want you to just sign the score sheet and walk away.
Garbage.
Okay. Now, let's go back here though. Right? Here. And knight b5. After knight b5, where does the queen go? Queen b8. Queen c6. That's Shaq. Yeah, I know, right? Gets chess. Thanks for the follow. Thanks for the raid too. c6. Okay. d8. Yeah, d8 was scary. d8 was a scary one. I wasn't trying to go back to d8, to be honest. I played queen to c6 though. Let's play queen to c6. Queen c6 was the move here. Queen b7, I think, was a problem because I was scared of like a bishop g5. And, you know, bishop g5, like, I'm looking crazy after, like, there's a sacrifice here. Look at this, right? If you're not careful, first off, why is this even a threat? What about like a bishop d7? Well, you're looking crazy after knight takes d6. Oh, my goodness. Are you kidding me? Wow. Wow. Sheesh. You're getting hit everywhere. And now this hanging. I mean, like, whoa, what just happened there? What just happened? So you have to stay around this to cover all this, especially when bishop g5 happens, right? There are cases where like the queen's eyeing this. So you have to be very careful. And I'm like, this is why you don't forget, you know, your theory, right? Because I was supposed, if I castle, all of this is different. None of this is even possible. It's just a different game. But I was like, why? And I had to think in a game, I'm like, how am I defending so early? What happened? And I was like, I was supposed to castle. Well, I forgot. That was on me, right? It was on me. I forgot that I'm just supposed to castle in this line. Because after the game, I'm looking like, where did I go wrong? And I'm like, wow, everything in the book say castle. And I'm out here playing. What did I play instead of castle, bro? I'm out here playing like b6. And right here, you're supposed to castle after queen d2. I play b6 out here, big champ. Looking crazy out here. Boy, get your mans. So bishop h6, rook g8, queen c7, and knight b5, and then queen c6, right? Here go bishop g5. I step out the way, have a nice day, and everything's smooth. Everything's smooth, right? Because after bishop takes, king takes, I mean, there's nothing here, right? And knight takes, you looking crazy. Like literally, this is like Najdorfish. Because in Najdorf, you'll see all type of sacrifices where there's a Sozin. I'm just giving y'all some very Jedi Russian material here. There's a Najdorf line where Karyakin actually sacrifices his queen on e6 in a Sozin variation of the Najdorf, and it becomes an equal position after you got to give your queen back. Bro, it's nuts. And this reminds me of something like this, but this is, you know, knight takes d6. There's nothing really here after all the captures. So, okay, knight to d7. Okay, knight to d7. After the knight moves, he goes queen d5. This could get crazy right now. Here come the tactics. Here come the tactics. It's your move, chat. It's your move, chat. It's your move, chat. Where you going? Oh, hold on. Hold on here. Hold on. You need to be very careful right now. You need to be very careful. He says, I'm swapping. He said, trade them boys. Get him off the board, sir. Get him out of here now. Get rid of that. Rook b8, bishop b7. Okay, red out mama with bishop b7 and a rook b8 and swapping. These are good candidate moves, guys. Very good candidate moves there. Very good candidate moves. In fact, rook b8 was a very big possibility of mine, but I didn't like that he could take this pawn. And I was looking at all kind of moves. Like, do I play queen a4 and then try to hit this knight? But then I was like, you know, how stupid does this look? Queen a4, knight b5. And then after take, like, what is my queen even doing over here? This is the stupidest thing I've ever seen. Like, what is this? Excuse me. So that's just stupid. Like, why would I even do this? Like, and then, so if I'm not, why would I give him this pawn? Like, exactly. Sign a score sheet and just get up. Like, just get up. Get up. Go home. You didn't come prepared at all. Like, what are you doing? You know, don't do this. You know, so go back and do that again. I'm like, nah, bro. We can't play rook b8 out here. Like, this is gross. Bishop b7. He gonna take these and then again probably sign the score sheet. I mean, this, you know, this is weird. And what I say by weird is that, you know, this isn't that bad. Yes, I'm down in exchange, but I mean, this is some compensation here, honestly. I mean, you got the c5 and e5 square. I think objectively, you still lost here, like as a human. I mean, but you got pressure here. You do have the rook here. I mean, this is going to take some real strength, bro, to like draw this one. Because, I mean, you are down. I mean, his bishop's bad, right? His bishop's terrible, right? You know, maybe you play on that, but if he f4, but can he play f4 with the bishop here? Maybe he has to go there. Maybe we swap that. Go back, get this pawn. King d7, rook c8, try to take these. Maybe we have these. Like, we got compensation, right? It's weird. It's very weird. Engine gives this plus 1.5 right now. Down in exchange, right? Think about that. I'm down in exchange. A rook gone. I got 2 rooks. You got 1. Plus 1.5, not plus 3 or 4.5. Think about that, right? So it's interesting, and I was not going for that though, like, because that's I'm not trying to do that at all. King D8 felt strange, and I'm like, nah, King D8. I don't even know if he could like sacrifice on. Like, I don't even know if this is the thing, and I'm like, this looks stupid, right? So after Queen takes D5 was the move, and now guys, what does he play? What does White play here? Queen takes D5. White's move. Yeah, I think the computer wanted you to play down and exchange the whole game. Yeah, something like that. It's crazy. Meta 1. Follow knight c7. We got a c takes d5. Pawn takes and undoubles. C takes. Rook takes d5. Knight to c7. Okay, I see y'all out here. All right. All right, knight c7 I would love. I would love him to play this because then now I'm better after takes and probably f6 first. Just to like stop, you know, first fine gold tripping. But there are very, very exceptions where he won't trip when you play f6, right? Because here this bishop is not attacking e7 and there was no good way to defend it, so you have to play this. The bishop moves and then you play bishop a6 probably with tempo. Rook c8, hit it again with tempo. It's nuts, and then I'm winning. Like, I'm basically probably better winning the pawn and, like, you know, maybe try to grind for more. Queen takes, he takes with the pawn with the knight c7 threat still available. Oh snap, chat, what do you do with life? How do you get out of this one? You are in some trouble right now. Maybe, maybe not. Are you in trouble? In fact, in your evaluation is like, it's equalish. They definitely give an edge to White. Absolutely. But, you know, and as a human here, you're like, this is terrible, right? Because, like, you forgot. Again, I forgot the theory. So I'm out here like, why king in the center when I should have been over here? Everything's different when the king's over here. And start sweating at this moment. I wasn't sweating here. I was not sweating here. In fact, yeah, I wasn't sweating. I wasn't sweating until the end of the game. To the end, I was like, dang. But before, I was like, this is like, if I could get out of this, this is looking good. Because there was some tactics in here. There's some tactics. But, all right, let's see what we have. King d8, f6, knight c5, f6 is good too. Rook b8 4, sign score c. Yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah, you go, you know, not just yet. There's some tactics in here that he has to be alert about. Art takes it to follow. So, right, after c takes d5, okay, I do go f6, allowing knight to c7 check, right? Which he plays, right? Which he plays immediately. And he didn't play immediately, but king d8, and then knight takes a8. I mean, he didn't take this, but if you take, I actually take here first, obviously, and now I get a piece. Look at that. I get a little piece key out of that. Okay, he gonna get some on the way out, you know, but I'm gonna get a little piece key out you. Thank you, appreciate it. I get 2 pieces for the piece. So he plays 96, right? 96 is the move. Absolutely. Plays 96 after, sorry, check, and I just go back. And I just go back. Okay, cool. I just go back. 96. So now I'm gonna go king f7. My plan here is to now go knight c5 because, you know, obviously as a bishop hanging still, we still have that same idea. If he takes here and we trap the knight in here. My idea here is to play king f7, knight c5 as quick as humanly possible. All right. From now, okay, after bishop to e3, what happened? Okay, so after bishop e3, what's the best move here? Rook b8, which I played. He played rook b1. Then, oh man, I played engine move number 1. Ooh, sheesh. Engine move number 1 is what here, chat? Dang, and it's equal too. It's like 0.3. Yeah, I was like, this game was wild, but it's 0.3 after here, bro. It's literally 0.3 after this move, but I have to like, it's still navigation I have to do here. But it's black to move, chat. What do you do in this position? I did play move number 1 on the engine. Didn't help me much afterwards. I mean, it helped, but I blundered somewhere in here, which we'll show you. But here, okay, rook b1. Knight to c5 from Subharmonic says, never mind. What's wrong with knight c5, bro? Oh, you get clapped. Oh, right. Yeah, you do. Takes, and you can't, like, you lose a pawn here. I mean, you are down a pawn. You're like, oh, it's just a pawn. But, like, bro, are you kidding me? Like, it's just a pawn. Who says that in this type of position when your queen off the board? Like, not on the board. It's off the board. What compensation do you have? And I don't see nothing. This is just garbage. So that's not a move, right? Not a move anyway. Yeah, and rook b1 was to stop knight c5. That's exactly what he did. Rook b1 was to stop knight c5. So, and rook b7 was stupid because bishop a6. He develops with tempo. I mean, maybe it's not the stupidest, because if he goes here, then I go back, but I didn't want to really do this, because now it hits the bishop, but then maybe he goes b5, which is kind of what happened in the game. In fact, the engine move number 1 was f5, because I noticed here that I needed to break this pawn structure up. If I can break this structure up and play knight f6, right, that's going to be problematic. So it's f5. I played f5 here to break the structure down. When his structure gets broken down, his pawn gets very weak. And understanding that weak structures in endgames, all I need is a few trades here, I'm looking good. But here, I blundered. I blundered right here, not understanding the severity of the situation. I thought I was able to get away in a different way. And I mean, I played this wrong, to say the least. Black to move, though. Let's see if you can play it correctly here. What do you actually do now, chat? Black to move. Here, King F7 from Cuddly Kami. I like it. King F7. That you play. Oh wow, he just gave y'all the answer, guys. Yeah. Like, yeah, chat, what do you think? And oh, King F7, that's what you played, bro. That's what you played. Yeah. Bruh. Thanks, Cuddly Kami. Thanks for letting everybody know. King F7 was actually the move. Correct. But this is not the right move. The right move is actually A6. It's A6 to hit the bishop. For some reason, I thought this was wrong. Oh yeah, because knight to C7. And I'm giving up the pawn. I didn't like this. Knight C7. What if I go F7? Let me see what the engine says. Takes. So am I getting it back? Is that what it is? Wow, I'm getting it back. That's a nuts line. And then castles. And I mean, he got the two ops, but it ain't over. And the knights is connected. F4 is annoying. F4 is very annoying. How do we deal with this? How do we deal with this move? Because this is a problem. Maybe just go here. We're here. Probably here. This pawn's hanging, but that probably here. Right here. And then just chill. Getting it back on A2. Yeah, you're getting it back on A2. What's up, Steve? Stream Sundays. Can you speak? Absolutely, baby. Always. Yeah, you get the pawn back. Yeah, this looks bad for you, human. Absolutely, but it is playable, and you can still fight this out. In fact, believe it or not, the engines is like 0.07, like nuts. But I would actually take white because of the bishops, obviously. I mean, I love the bishops more than the knights, to be honest, unless they're placed like this. If the knights are placed like this or further up and they're connected, then I love the knights. But I'm preferring the bishop pair, especially if the position opens up. You want the bishops usually. So, all right, this didn't happen. I went King F7, allowing him to have these sequence of moves that actually work if you find them correctly. Check, King G7. He goes F4, and this is very critical. Very critical here. What do you do here? Cuddly Kami, don't say anything. Shut your mouth right now, Cuddly Kami. Right. What do you do in this position, chat? Black to move. Do y'all ever look at it? Yeah, sometimes, Cuddly Kami, yeah. Sometimes you do. Or sometimes you just get out of there as quick as possible. Knight G4 from TF Robinson. Okay. Knight G4. Very nice, TF Robinson. Knight to G4. H6 from Athos. A6, maybe. Knight G4 from Wobble J. All right, guys, look at this. Knight F7, right? Look, if you move the knight, night. If you move the knight, have a nice night. Have a good night. You ever go night, right? Okay? It ain't gonna be a good night. You ain't gonna see another night, right? Okay, you ever go night. Correct, right? Exactly. It's gonna be a wrap if you move the knight anywhere right now. Let's look at a few lines. Knight F7, there are almost mating patterns. If you go Knight E6, first off, I was looking like king, and I was looking at all of this. If I go King H6, there might be this move right here that was like, oh my goodness. The first thing I looked at was, well, Grandfather Tao says sack first, think later. So G4 is threatening G5 and Bishop E2 in a mating sequence with the bishops all the way down the line. Something like that. Some type of mate. Of course, I can get out with G4 and an H3 in there, but basically you're getting mated. If you take, then there's an F5 check. Your king can't run that far. You looking scary. You looking crazy out here. Get your mans. So, okay, we're not about to do that at all. You can't go Knight F7. So, Knight C4, not a move, not a move, not a move. Right, so you only have like Knight to G4. Okay, cool, Knight G4, let's go, cool, Knight G4. Then I saw this line, check, right? If I go with this knight, watch this. If I go with this knight here, first of all, let's look at this knight. If I go with this knight, okay, knight, H3, you're actually looking crazy because the knight's like this. And I think after knight H6, I mean, look at you getting backed up like this. Pawn takes. After knight takes D5, there's C4, right? Which is like ridiculous. I mean, this is crushing here. Like, everything's bad. Everything's bad. E6, King F8, and look at this mate here. Nasty. Mate. I'm looking at everything, right? This is nuts. Nuts. Boy, you get mated. What a beautiful mate. Right? So I'm like, I can't do this. I can't allow this to happen either, right? So after knight to G4, There's another line after bishop check. I can't go this night. I have to go this night. So I'm like, cool. I mean, this night getting a workout. My guy is working. You know, this man MVP out here. Boy, he was on E5. Now he over here like, I mean, this man going crazy, right? He out here working. Double time here. And so what happens here is like, cool, I'm good. I'm out the woods. I'm also putting pressure with the threat of taking right now. So this is good, right? This is good, right? Everything seems to be fine, except when he plays E5. And you're like, cool, I can just take on D5, right? Right? Pawn takes, simple tactics. Now, guys, I want you to hit your tactics book right now. Hit your tactics book. Puzzle rush right now. Puzzle rush right now. White to move. Game over, actually. Game over. Game over. What is it? Someone said it was a stallion. Wow. Right. Right. Okay. What happens here? E6 from Red Hot Mama. Well, everybody's saying E6 in the chat. Wow, chat. Wow, that's amazing. That's amazing. That's amazing how garbage you are. Garbage. Because you about to get sent to stretcher, bro. That's not a move. After E6, that's what I wanted. I'm going to go knight F6, and I'm going to look at you. I'm going to stare at you real hard from across the board, and I'm going to smile. Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate you, man. You're lovely. So you hit him with bishop takes D7 first. And then after bishop takes, now E6. Oh, my goodness. Hopefully you did your puzzle rush today. Some of y'all haven't. So after we go back here, okay, that doesn't work. So that doesn't work. So in fact, the move here is actually A6. I found it. It was A6 first. Because now when he moves the bishop, the line doesn't work anymore. Right. So after A6, he plays knight E6 check and then king F7. Then he goes bishop E2. After knight G4, right? Knight G4, knight G5 check. I'm like, cool, I'm out the woods. King G7, bishop check. I'm like, bet, we going for the line. I go back, take, I get the pawn, right? Everything's even still, right? He goes C4, and what I was supposed to play here was knight to F4. Weirdly enough, but I played knight C7. He went check, I went knight F6. I'm still doing okay here. But after bishop E5, this got a little strange because he kept, like his pieces just started attacking me here. He goes rook B6. I'm still hanging on here. And I think the problem here, and watch this, right? Actually, after H6, he finds this move here, which is brilliant. Actually, is H4. Boy. So if you take my knight, I get yours. But I actually can't take it, though. Like, I actually still can take it, though. After this, and I can take on E6, which probably would have been a better line than what I got. After here, after takes, I mean, you know, like, not the fan. Rook B8. I don't know. I'm not a fan of this. I'm not a fan. Takes, king F7. I mean, I got these knights, though. Like, wait a second. I mean, this is not all the way over. You know, these knights, but I'm not a fan, bro. I'm not a fan of this at all. I'm not a fan of this line. After H4, H6, I play A5. With the idea here of knight A6 and also knight B4 intentions, I also have right now rook A6, not right now, after rook A6, bishop takes C7 was a thing. Yeah, it still wasn't great, right? So bishop takes C7 is a thing after rook A6, so that's no good. So after A5, there's knight H3, he backs up. And then here, I was like, shoot, do I take it or do I not? Do I take it or do I not? And I sat here and looked at, I think I spent like 15, 20 minutes here. I don't remember. Actually, I wrote it down on my thing so I could give it to my coach. My coach was like, how much time did you spend there? You know, like the Russians Russians do not play. Bruh. Okay, I'll be writing the time down. He'd be like, yo, how much time you spend there? I'm like, this much time, sir. I mean, coach. Bruh. Make you, sir, sorry. I mean, coach. Knight takes E6 and bishop D5. So he plays bishop D5. And then here, king F7. You spent 20 minutes. I had 8. Oh, perfect. So I spent 20, right? Perfect. Yeah, so I spent some time on knight takes E6, right? Obviously. Bishop D5. King F7, and here miraculously I'm still okay. This engine says that's nuts. No, this doesn't feel right. Knight F8 again. They want me to exact the exchange. Not doing. So I played here, and here I felt I was getting tied down, but I didn't see how anymore. Here, this is already lost. This is already lost here. This is already lost because there's this increasing pressure here where I can never move. I'm just like zugzwanged out, or I lose a piece. If I ever move my king, I lose a piece here. Those a piece. So my idea here is to try to play G5, F4, F5, King F. Like how many moves it takes? 1, 2, 3, 4 moves to get up there. It's a lot. So Rook A to E7, he goes here, and then I take on H5, which is just a blunder. G5 is the move. G5, but I didn't like Knight G6 because I'm like, where do I even put my Rook? And then he goes here, and I'm like, what do I do next? And what I did was I didn't calculate enough here, which I'm working on, obviously, with the coach. Right, so you have to calculate more. And here I had more to push for, but this is still very bad. Very bad, but this would have been at least better. I think I took on H5 here, and after taking on H5 after Rook E1, the game's over here. Because there's nothing. I don't have any play, and I'm literally just zugzwanged out. So after H4, evaluation here is +5, so they're like, oh, now it's, wow. Now it's +3. What? Oh, I was supposed to take with the Rook? Apparently. What? No, this doesn't make any sense. This is just losing. This is just losing. Yeah. 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 For the draw here. Yeah, I thought if you went G5, I wasn't winning. Yeah, yeah, I knew this was losing. After I'm like, I have to play G5. He goes Knight G6. And after Rook A7, I'm sitting. I'm like, well, there we go. And then wait, why was Rook A6 bad? Oh, because there's a take or something. I can't play Rook A6. Hold on, Rook E1. Why can't I do this? Why can't I play Rook A6? Oh, you just take. You just take it first. Yeah, you just take it. You could probably even take with the Rook, right? You could even take with the Rook. One of these Rooks. But, yeah, probably E-Rook. E-Rook's better. But Bishop takes is the move. Yeah, that's why I couldn't. It's overloaded. The Bishop's overloaded. Yeah, man. Yeah, it was too much there. It's too much here. This is still difficult. So Rook E1. I don't have any moves. If I go here, I mean, maybe, what do you do, right? What do you do here? How do you finish? I mean, it's just miserable, right? It's just miserable. F5, King F6. I'm not playing for the win here, right? And that's what happened here, right? This is what happens when you forget, guys. This is what happens when you forget. You have to improvise over the board, right? I think even Levy had a video about that too. I think he said, it's like, I just improvised, right? On like move 3. I think it was against the guy with the I am Norm again, Robert. Super dumb strong and underrated, to say the least. But yeah, man, I definitely forgot the theory here. And that was it. But here, what happened at the end? Oh, yeah, this was the end. G takes H5, Rook E1. I play H4. He took, I took, take. And then King F3, and then I resigned here. Because, like, there's just nothing. I have nothing. I can't move anything. F4 takes, F5 takes. Right? I can't move the king. Like, this is tied down. Right? And it all started from back here again in the beginning, where you have to know your theory, right? So I did this. I'm supposed to... Well, which I'm not playing this line anymore. Like, I just don't, you don't give this bishop. Like, I'm just not a fan of it. I mean, you can, like, you really can, but I just don't like it that much. And then castles. I'm supposed to castle, and this is completely different now. This is completely different. Now I can play bishop E6, rook C8. This game is 100% different. Knight D7, B6. Everything else is better because I castle. Even the H4 option, I can play H5. Yeah, okay, the dark squares are weak, right? But you can't really get, it's hard to get to the king is what Black is arguing here. In fact, believe it or not, the engine gives us straight zeros, all from one move. I forgot the theory. I forgot. So I learned, right? Learned from it, and now working with my coach, and now we on to the next one. So make sure y'all here for the big one tomorrow, which is round 2.